Hi there, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to our Facebook Live. I'm Azimah, and today we're going to learn how to use do, does, and did correctly. So before I begin, I would like for you to say hello to me in the chat. If you can see me, let me know before we start. And I do want you to get ready because I have a bit of a quiz and an exercise for you to do at the end. So I hope you're going to stay tuned until the end. So let's see who's here, who's watching. Do press share as well. Do press share so that I know that you're inviting your friends. Hello, Aisha. Hello, my English. Thank you for joining us, of course. And then if you've got questions, you can ask in the chat. We'll try to get to it. But if we can't, then email us at myenglishmatters.com. Okay, we're going to learn how to use do, does, and did correctly. Get ready. I've got a quiz and an exercise for you to do at the end. So let's see who is here. All right, Echo, I hope I can say your name correctly. Ijum Saliman. Assalamualaikum, waalaikumsalam. Bonda Amor, hello there. And Nur Fazliana, hi. All right, thank you. Hi, Doody. Great to see you. Okay, so we're going to do this. Let's get ready. I don't know how long we're going to take. We'll just do our best, okay? Right, so let me share with you my screen. Hope you can see this. Okay, how to use do, does, and did correctly. So we're going to do a bit of grammar today. We haven't done grammar in a while, so let's do this, everybody. Okay. So firstly, I have to give you this rule. This is the subject-verb agreement rule that you guys need to understand first, and these must be memorized in order for you to get it correctly, in order for you to get it right. So in the present tense form, there's a different form. There's do and does. And in the past tense form, there's did. So if the subject is I, you, we, and they, we use do in the present tense. If it's he, she, it, or it's an uncountable noun, it's does, okay? If it's in the past tense, it's very easy. All subjects, I, he, she, it, uncountable noun, you, they, we use did for that in the past tense. So it's very easy. So we have three forms, do and does, and did, do and does in the present tense, and did in the past tense. And you need to memorize this. If this is difficult for you, then just get this right first, okay? All right. So this is the subject-verb agreement, and you do need to know this, okay? Because we're going to do everything. We're going to base everything from this lesson based on this. So you do need to know this, okay? Now, let's talk about the function of the do verb, okay? So it can function as a main verb. It's an action verb. So that means it's the only verb in the sentence. For example, my daughter, that's the subject, does the cooking on weekends. So here, does, it functions as an action verb. It's the only verb there. It's the main verb there. She does the cooking on weekends. She cooks, basically. She cooks on weekends. So that's the only verb there. That's why we call it as a main verb, as an action verb, okay? The confusing part is this. When the do verb functions as a helping verb, okay? Another name for the word helping verb is auxiliary verb, okay? So don't get confused. It's the same thing. Helping verb, auxiliary verb, it's the same thing. But today I'm going to use the word helping because it's easier for you to understand. What is it helping? It helps the other verb. It helps the main verb. That means there are two verbs in a particular sentence. So let's take a look at two examples. Do you like shopping? So do is helping the verb like. Do you like shopping? And in this case, it is used to form a question. So as a helping verb, the do verb is used to form questions. So it's very interesting. So you would use it to form questions, or you would use it to form negative statements. Here's an example. I don't like shopping. I don't like shopping. So don't is a helping verb. Like is the main verb. So it's helping the main verb to form a negative statement. So just take a look at that. Take a look at that and study that. So there are two functions. We've got do functioning as a main verb. As the main verb, that means it's the only verb there. Or it functions as a helping verb, so it helps another verb. So there's a confusion. Sometimes learners get confused with it, so pay attention and we'll break this down for you in detail, okay? All right. Okay. So let's take a look at do, does, and did as a main verb. I'm going to make the screen bigger for you to see that. Okay. So do, does, and did as a main verb. All right. As a main verb, it refers to actions in general. In general, think of it as the word performing. Do means performing. I do well under pressure. Basically, it means I perform well. Okay, I do well under pressure. I do well under pressure. Here's another example. Farah always does her work in the morning. So she does her work. She completes her work. She performs, right? She does her work in the morning. So that's do, does, and did as a main verb. And I've given you an example of do and does in this case. Okay. Right. Do means performing. Here's another example. You did a great job. You did a great job. So this is used in the past tense to mean, yes, you did a great job. Well done. You did a great job. Okay. So far, so good, I hope. Now, I'm going to focus on this one. Do, does, and did as a helping verb. Do, does, and did as a helping verb. So I'm going to break this down to you, so pay attention. Do and does are used in the present tense. So it's happening now. Did in the past tense and will do in the future tense. Okay, I'm going to give you some examples. All right, as a helping verb. Remember, as a helping verb, it is helping another verb. It's helping the main verb, right? So that means there's two verbs basically in a sentence. So do you remember I said you can use it to form questions? So here is how you'd form a question. You would put the do at the front. Do you like vegetables? Do and like are verbs. Do you like vegetables? And you can answer, I do like vegetables. So in this sense, do and like still there. Do is used to emphasize, to say, yes, I do like vegetables. Okay. This is used in the present tense. Does he eat spicy food? Here's another question. Does and eat are two verbs there. Does is helping the verb eat. Does he eat spicy food? Not do he eat, yeah? He is singular. Does is the verb that goes with it, with he. Does he eat spicy food? And you can answer, he doesn't eat spicy food. This is if you're answering in the negative. He does not eat spicy food. Not he not eat spicy food. So you have to put he does not eat spicy food, or you can contract it. He doesn't eat spicy food. Okay. Here's another way to form a question, and this is basically you're asking, did you do the laundry this morning? Because it was in the past. Did you do the laundry? And you can answer, I did do the laundry this morning. This is for emphasis. Okay. So did and do are two verbs in that particular sentence. And you can see it functions to help as a helping verb, helping the main verb. Are you with me? Okay, are you with me? I hope so. All right. Okay. If you want to answer in the negative, I didn't do the laundry this morning. So it's either I did do the laundry or I didn't do the laundry this morning. And you would use it to emphasize your the fact that you didn't do the laundry. Okay? Right. If you want to answer in the future, you say, yes, I will do it later. I will do it later. Or I'll do it later. If you want to contract, I'll do it later. Okay. So just look at it first. Study, like, It's easy enough, I hope so. Okay. Right. So you would use the auxiliary verb, the helping verb, to make negative sentences. So you would use do not or does not. So if it's I, you, they, we, it would be don't or do not, and then the base form of a verb. Okay. If it's the third person singular, like he, she, or it would be doesn't or does not plus the base form of a verb. Okay. So you're going to take a look at these examples, and I'm going to highlight the verbs. Okay. So I'm going to say the positive statement first before I turn it into a negative statement. I like ice cream. I like ice cream. If I want to change it into a negative sentence or statement, I don't like ice cream. So don't is the negative, or do not. Like is the main verb. So you do not put I don't likes or I don't liking. It should be I don't like ice cream. Pay attention to this third example. My sister likes ice cream. Can you guess if I put don't or does not, doesn't, would it be like or likes? It would be, oh, I put my daughter there. My daughter doesn't like ice cream. Could be my sister doesn't like ice cream. So in the original form, it's likes, right? My sister likes, my daughter likes ice cream. But as soon as you put doesn't, you would put it in the negative form, in the base form, excuse me, doesn't like ice cream. I'll give you some more examples. I speak English. Okay. My neighbor does not speak English. Not my neighbor does not speaking English. My parents do not speak English. So these are just examples of how you would turn the verb, the main verb. You'd use the base form of the verb. Is that clear? Okay. A common mistake with do verbs, it's when you're not using the base form with do, does, and did, because that would be incorrect. What's wrong with this one? He doesn't likes spicy food. What's wrong with that? He doesn't likes spicy food should be he doesn't like spicy food. Like must be in the base form, okay, the root form. My daughter did not going to school today. Why is that incorrect? It should be my daughter did not go, or if I want to contract it, didn't go to school today. Okay, so it's not my daughter did not going, because that's not in the base form. Number 3, my neighbor does not speaking English. Why is this incorrect? It should be my neighbor does not speak or doesn't speak English. Okay. All right. What about this one? My parents do not speak English. What's wrong with this? It should be my parents do not speak or don't speak English. Is that clear? What should we do with the do verbs? We should change it into the base form of the verb. Okay. The base form of the verb, and I hope you can see it. So we have doesn't like, two verbs there. Okay? All right. So here's your quiz. You're going to choose the correct do verbs and main verbs. Let's read it out loud and you can write in the chat. You can write in the chat. So number 1, he, that's the subject, he didn't want or wants to go. So I'm forming a negative sentence. He didn't want or wants to go. Number 2, your client, that's the subject, doesn't or don't understand or understands. Your client doesn't or don't understand or understands. Okay, remember the lesson I just taught you just now. Okay. Number 3, you don't or you doesn't needs or need to worry. Number 4, I'm forming a question. Do or is it does you speaks or speak Arabic? Do or does you speaks or speak Arabic? Number 5, does or do she takes or take sugar in her tea? Number 6, I don't or is it I doesn't eats or eat spicy food? Okay. I'm glad you're participating. Thank you so much. Okay. Give you a few more seconds before I reveal the answers. All right. Now let's see. I'm waiting for some of you to get to number 6 so that I know that we're all on the right track. We're all on the same page. Okay. So Amira's participating. Salma, Marlia, Neo Firdausi, Umu Safia. Can see you. Eja, Ijum, Salma, Nor Fazliana. Okay. Who else is here? Okay. Siti Norizwani. Okay. Come on, get to number 6. So remember I taught you about verbs. In this case, the do verbs here function as a helping verb. It's helping the main verb. So what happens to the main verb? Okay, yes, Salma, I think. No, Akram as well. No, Azmira, you've reached number 6. That means I can reveal the answers. All right. Okay, so I have a formula here. If it's a statement, it's subject, do, does, or did, plus main verb in the base form. If it's a question, it's do, does, or did, plus subject, plus main verb in the base form. Let's see if you got 6 out of 6. He didn't want to go. He didn't want to go, not he didn't wants to go. Number 2, your client doesn't understand. So it's not your client don't understands. It should be your client, singular, doesn't, singular. You don't need to worry. So it's not you doesn't needs to worry. You don't need to worry. Number 4, do you, not does you. Do you speak Arabic, not does you speaking, does you speaks Arabic. It should be do you speak Arabic. And number 5, does she take sugar in her tea? Does she take sugar in her tea? And number 6, I don't eat spicy food. I don't eat spicy food. So it's not I doesn't eats spicy food. Yay, well done, well done. Great. Okay, this is your last task. The exercise is to form questions. So I've got an example for you. All you have to do is just look at the formula and work it out. So here's the statement. She wants coffee. I'm going to change that into a question. I need to put do, does, or perhaps did. Really depends on the tense. So it would be, does she want coffee? Not does she wants. Do you remember? I said put it in the base form. Does she want coffee? Does she? Okay. Can you do number 2, 3, and 4? So number 2, it's they agreed with the decision. Can you form a question with that? Change it into a question form. They agreed with the decision. So start off. Is it do, did, does? What tense is it? Number 3, he went to the conference last week. Is it did, do, does? Start that off first before you form the question. Number 4, she watched Netflix yesterday. Should we put do, does, or did? Take a look at the tense. And then how do you change the main verb? Okay, so only 3 things for you to do. Form 3 questions from the statements. They agreed with the decision. He went to the conference last week, and you watched Netflix yesterday. Okay, let's take a look. Great. Okay, let's take a look at the answers. Okay, did you get 3 out of 3? So it should be, if the statement is they agreed with the decision, did. Why did? It's in the past tense. Did they agree with the decision? So not did they agreed. Did they agree? He went to the conference last week. This is also in the past tense. He went. So that means we have to use did. And then we have to change went to go. That's the main verb. And we have to change it into the base form or root form. Did he go to the conference last week? Okay. And number 4, or would be number 3 in this case, she watched Netflix yesterday. This is your third exercise, third sentence, excuse me. She watched Netflix yesterday. Did she watch Netflix yesterday? Why did? Because it's in the past tense. She, and then watch, not watched with an ed, but watch. Did she watch Netflix yesterday? How did you do? Let us know in the comments. 3 out of 3 or 100%. Well done. Well done. Okay. Let's take a look at the answers. Okay, good. Yes, I can see that you guys are really good. Yay. Safia, well done. You have answered correctly to all 3. Great. It's wonderful. Okay, so if you like this sort of lesson, let us know in the comments. And if you want more lessons, do join us over at myenglishmatters.com. Become a subscriber because you will get free lessons that we send through email. And you'll also be notified whenever we open classes for you. All right, so thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.